Compared to what I thought it would be, South by Southwest was a lot smaller than what I expected. Most everything was contained in 6th Street. A bunch of them were branched off from there, but then there was other festivals like South by So What was going on, where you had to crash underneath the bridge, but otherwise it was mostly localized around the convention center. There wasn't as many panels as I thought there was going to be. There was maybe like 6 a day compared to what I think there was going to be like 50 a day that you would have to choose from. I did run into some super awesome panelists. Like ran and sat down and like when I looked up, Danny Worsnop was in front of me and I freaked out, fangirl moment. But other than that, yeah. There was a lot of bands that I didn't know of, but then of course like Bruce Springsteen played, so there was a lot of that sort of balance in between too. It was an experience. I didn't know what to expect basically. I was kind of nervous for flying and stuff. When we got down there, we took a taxi right away, took us to the convention center. And I guess like driving through, seeing all the cars and like how many people were there, it kind of threw me off. But then as soon as I like sat down and got my bearings, like I started figuring out where everything was. There was a map and like the pocket guide that I kind of had on me all the time. I don't know, it's compared to like up here in Madison, I would compare it to like the World Dairy Expo, but it's like the World Media Expo. I think the guys went to a house show that was like at this $8 million mansion or something. My friends in the band Reptar, they played a bunch of shows, but they only had like a showcase on Friday night. We saw a group playing their instruments off of a car battery, which I thought was like the coolest thing, the most punk rock thing I saw when I was down there. Pennywise was down there and had one day that they were specifically supposed to play, or maybe it was 2 days, but then they played at South by So What. Martin's band played at some kid's house down in Austin, and we ended up taking him their merch stuff. But like they weren't even officially with South by Southwest, but people still knew that they were going to be there, and there were still people at the house. There were bands like, okay, you would have a show, you would play for 45 minutes, but then if you had 6 other shows, you could sell your t-shirts that day. You couldn't sell your shirts at like the South by Southwest official stuff. You couldn't sell your CDs. You couldn't take much more time. Excuse me. If you played at somebody's house, you could sell your t-shirts, you could make your t-shirts, you could hook up with people. I know a bunch of bands were doing the Square app on like their phones to like use credit cards, so they were letting people pay all the time. Bunch of them were sleeping in their vans or on kids' floors or just didn't sleep at all. I went and saw a band called Cherry Bomb, and they're these 15 and 16-year-old girls from Los Angeles, I think, and they're just in this little punk group. But they toured with Smashing Pumpkins last year. They definitely brought down the house. People were going nuts over them. Like, I don't think half the people listening realized they were like 16 until one of the girls was like, well, we'd buy you drinks, but we're not old enough to even be here. The drummer was going insane. She was spitting water, throwing water bottles at everybody. Like, they had the doors open at the bar, and like they were all cheering stuff on, like throwing her bottles of water to throw at people. Again, just like really engaging the fans. This lady from Reverb Nation actually ended up being the CEO of Reverb Nation, and her daughter was looking for places to go to school for engineering, and I was like, well, I actually go to MMI, here's some information about that, and then she gave us free t-shirts. I would say that South by Southwest is definitely an experience that you just need to be a part of. World industry people are there. You're going to be meeting your potential bosses, your potential employees, potential bands that you might work with.